Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Parenting and You with me, Dr. Shefali. You know, most of us parents don't realize how much of parenting is about understanding our children's brain, understanding their development, and understanding how they need skills. Most of our children literally don't have the skills. We end up getting upset and reacting to them, but actually they just don't know how. And many of us either go too hard and punish them and shame them and control them. We yell at them because they don't have the skills. And then the rest of us just walk away. We're passive. We just do nothing about their skills or lack of it. Well, there is a middle way, a conscious parenting way of building skills in our children. And that's what this episode is all about. Coming up next, a mom who says she gets terribly triggered when her 5-year-old son says mean things to her like, I don't love you, or you're the worst mom. Let's see how we can help her. Joining me now is Ashley, a mom who gets terribly upset when her 5-year-old son disrespects her by saying mean things like, I don't love you, mommy, and you're the worst mom ever. Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the club.
Hi, Dr. Shefali. Thanks for connecting with me today.
So tell me what goes on between you and your son that gets you so upset.
Yeah, so great topic that I think a lot of parents could resonate with. I want to talk about how we can break the generational thought of our children disrespecting us. I grew up in a Latina household, and my partner grew up in a Black household where we were taught that the idea of talking back to an adult was disrespectful. We really didn't have a voice to share our feelings and our emotions. And if we did, we would get sent to our room or even be hit or punished. For me, I wanted things to change when I parent, and I want to be thoughtful in addressing my child's needs and their emotions. For example, my son loves to have a nightcap snack at nighttime before bed. And this one night, I told him that we were done having snacks for the night, that we can have some more the next day. And I got hit with, oh, you're the worst mom ever. And I hate you. And you're a loser. And for me, I know it wasn't a personal attack. And I think that that's what a lot of people have mistaken when they parent, that these situations are not personal. And through years of my own therapy, I know that this disrespectful behavior is really a sign of a want that my child has and a need that my child has that they are not able to quite communicate yet. So that's definitely something that I just wanted to leave you with and get your opinion on.
Well, so you know it intellectually, but it still seems to be hurting you emotionally. Is that correct?
That's correct. And when this incident happened, I actually wasn't upset at all because I know my son and I know that really he just wanted some more fruit before bed. But my partner said to me, are you going to really let him talk to you like that? Why didn't that bother you? And to me, I told him, he's 5. He wants the snack. He doesn't hate me. He loves me, but he just is angry at the moment because he wants the snack. So that's another subject, is how do we not let the opinions of others, like our partners, our families, our mothers, our fathers, come in the way of how we parent. I think that it bothered me after I heard that from my partner, and I internalized, hey, should this really bother me? When in actuality, it really didn't.
Yeah, well, I think you're on the right track. I think you understand this is just his way of saying, I hate it, not I hate you. They're not being personal. They're just expressing. He doesn't know how to express the fact that he doesn't like this moment. So he just says, I don't like you. So you got all that down. But then your partner comes, and your partner's male, and males don't like it when children, quote unquote, are being children, even though they can be children, but that's another story. But they don't like it, and they're like, don't let anyone disrespect you. But they don't understand that the child has an inability to express themselves, just like they actually cannot express themselves either. But here's the thing. The answer is not whether this should bother me. It should definitely not bother you. So you should stay in an emotional, calm, regulated place. Don't let it bother you. But your partner is right in a little bit because your partner also cannot articulate. What your partner is saying is, hello, don't just walk away. Can you just do something a little bit? So let's take the approach of in between your partner and in between you. Your partner wants you to be bothered, which then means you will react, which then means you will be punitive. We don't want to do that. Your approach is, I'm not bothered, and you walk away. That's a good emotional energy, but it still doesn't help the moment. So I always tell parents that kids act out or say rude things only because of 3 reasons. Number 1, they don't know how to do it better because they don't have the life skills yet, because their brain is not developed. Or they just have not remembered the right way because their memory is not good enough. So they need more practice. And number 3, in the moment, they're just overwhelmed. So your son is all those things. They don't have enough life skills. They don't have enough life experience and practice. They are not feeling good in the moment. So you are doing great. You realize these things. Now, what could you do that is a little bit more masculine? Your partner wants you to kind of like attack it back and control it. Not that. But there's something in between. And the in between is this. Later, going back to your son, or even in the moment saying, no, you don't hate me, you just hate it. But there's no point talking in the moment because your son is overwhelmed. So later you could go back and let's do a role play. You could tell your son, now you be mommy and I'm going to be you. And I'm getting ready for bed and I'm going to ask for my snack. And you're going to say, like what mommy said the other day, no. And I'm going to first act like you. And then I'm going to act like another kid. And you can show your son how that feels. And then you can practice another kind of response. And this way, you can teach your child the skills that they're missing. See, you missed that piece. You didn't go back and repair or teach or make a creative way of showing a different way. You just walked away, which is level 1. Trust me, you did that good. And most parents won't be able to do that. But you didn't go many steps forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we want to be a good role model. We want to lead by example, by showing the respect and also the behavior that we want our child to exhibit. But again, like as mentioned, it is also conflicting because we don't want to let others' opinions get in the way of how we're thinking. But I think that if I'm solid in how I'm parenting and I go back and have those conversations to make my child understand, like, hey, there is a better way of communicating, I think that will go a long way, and especially for them emotionally, to be able to express how they're feeling and know that there's different ways of doing that as well.
Correct. So your partner is right in a little way, but also you need to let your partner know that they are getting triggered and they're making it personal, and that is not the correct way either. So don't get bamboozled or run over by your partner's energy either. Don't get bamboozled and run over by your son's energy either. But you know that your son's, his brain is literally not developed. They're holes. It's like Swiss cheese. So he needs a lot of skill building, which will take years. Don't think that by doing it once, tomorrow your son is not going to say, I hate you. You're going to hear, I hate you for the next 10 years at least. So don't put that pressure on yourself to create a perfect child, but also don't do your job by teaching him some other ways to behave. Right? So have a feminine energy about it where you're calm, you walk away, you can soothe him, but also introduce the masculine energy of, hey, let's practice some other ways. This is not okay. Let's do another way. But being mindful of when you do what you do and not just simply reacting is always the gold standard.
Absolutely. Can we chat about how we can have these conversations with our partners or have conversations with our parents even that taught us maybe these behaviors and have intellectual ways of expressing, hey, this is how I parent, this is how maybe you parent, and I decide to do things differently. Because I think the main thing is breaking that generational habit of passing these things down and along the chain. And that's definitely something I don't want to do.
I love that. So safe to say that your parents or partner may not want to watch my podcast, but that's what they should do. But safe to say that they are stuck in their traditional ways, right? This is a very key thing I'm going to tell you. So listen up. It's not about what you tell them. It's about how you are with them. You see, The same traditional parenting that your partner and they are used to is what they're now doing with you. They're dominating you. They're telling you how you need to be. And you're getting stuck again by being suppressed. The same thing that happened in your childhood. So you have to break the pattern and go, why am I getting suppressed again? I'm a grown woman now. They're doing the same traditional crap with me. They're trying to again treat me like a child and tell me what I should do with my child. It's not their place. So really the answer is, are you ready to be empowered to create the boundary against them? Don't try to teach them. They're not going to change. You have to create the boundary to tell them to back off, because the old part of you still wants to please them. The old part of you still gets confused when they dominate you and they rob you of your inner knowing. That's what's happening here. You're getting confused. This is the old part of you that has been traditionally parented and has been suppressed. It's now time for the little girl to grow up into this woman I'm watching right now, because what I see is a strong woman who really knows a lot. So you need to put these unconscious people in their place and say, thank you very much. I understand why you're this way. You were raised in an unconscious way. It's not me. I am creating a boundary right now. This is my child. I will need to do what I need to do. Thank you very much. Don't even begin to start to change them. We don't change people who don't ask for change, because then we're falling into the same trap as we did when we were younger, which is to be at their service. Why would you waste your energy changing them when they have not displayed an interest in being changed? Right? I always tell people, I, in my 20s, wanted to change the world. Then I realized, oh, unless they join my Zoom, unless they buy a ticket, unless I hear the question, can you help me? Why am I jumping in? It's because I'm jumping in to do my old role of fixing everybody. It's not your job to fix other people. It's your job now to be empowered in your own knowing to help your son.
Absolutely. I think that when these situations happen, especially with my parents, I feel like that little girl again, suppressed, as you say, I can't speak up. And I'm just trying to convince them to see it my way. But as you were speaking to, it's not my job. It is not my power. It is exhausting to try and get someone to change when they don't want to change.
Yes.
And I can't break all of this years of them, being this way. So I just have to be firm in who I am and how I parent and how I choose to do things, and be confident in that it is the best emotional support that I can give my child.
Right. But you see how quickly we could have gotten into, Dr. Shefali, tell me 3 things I can tell my partner and my parents. And if I was unconscious, which I was about to do, I was about to give you 3 things. And then I realized, hey, why are we doing this? We're doing this because we're coming from a needy place and a disempowered place. I need to teach her how to draw a boundary, not to begin to teach them how to enter your space, right? You're like, come with me, mommy, daddy. Come and tell me how good I'm doing. That's the same little girl who wants her parents' approval. Listen, if you don't have your parents' approval by now, you're never going to really get it. So it's time for you to burn that fantasy. Live in the isness of your reality right now. And even your partner, you're not here to convince him. You're not here to please him. He needs to either do the work or you create a boundary. But you cannot beg people to change their consciousness. This is a big takeaway for someone like you, because you're such a teacher, you're such a wisdom person, you're such a people pleaser. You will begin to convince everyone and lose your own power as a result of it.
Yeah, I definitely think that I've lost my confidence along the way and have let the opinions of others doubt who I am and the things that I'm confident in. And for me, it is very healing to hear this and to take it as a token to say, hey, you are confident and you need to be powerful in your opinions and your thoughts, because they truly matter. They are who you are. And you worked so hard to get to this point as a parent. And I really needed that confirmation today to know that, hey, I'm on the right path and I'm doing all the right things.
Well, you just got it.
Yeah.
Because we can just get so tricked into thinking the other person is bullying us. But really what that means is that our own conviction, our own hold on our own way of being is loose. So they're sneaking in and grabbing it, right? And that's what we need to learn. That's been my biggest life lesson as a woman who's a people pleaser like you. Oh, it's not the other person. If the candy shop is open and all the candy is sitting out there, why shouldn't someone come in and take some? That's how we are, right? We're letting people come in and take us because we don't have a hold. We haven't locked the candy store. We haven't convinced ourselves that the candy is worthy. It will not be given for cheap. But when we give it for cheap, we can't blame other people who come and rob it, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for opening my eyes for that today. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I always tell parents that at the end of the day, their capacity to tune into their children, to do what their children need them to do, is unparalleled. We often let the opinions of others infiltrate our mind and shake our convictions. And it's good to be open to others. It's good to take in their feedback. But at the end of the day, our greatest source of knowing comes from within. Our greatest source of trust has to come from within ourselves. We cannot rely and trust other people to tell us how to be with our children or with ourselves or in any decision we make. And this capacity to be self aware, to know who it is we are, is what I teach through this podcast, through my books, through my institute, because this is what's missing. And then when we're shaky within ourselves, we're shaky with our children, and then our children don't feel safe because we don't feel safe within ourselves. Our children need us to be open, but also trusting of what we're doing, because when we communicate through self-trust, we allow our children to feel safe, and then they can begin to trust us, and then they can begin to trust themselves. This is the process of conscious parenting. Coming up next, a mother who's really worried about her 7-year-old daughter growing up too fast because she's been watching inappropriate videos on social media. Joining me now is Madhu, a mother who's struggling with her 7-year-old daughter who is sometimes watching inappropriate videos on social media, making the mother really worried. Hi, Madhu. So what I'm hearing is that you're concerned that your daughter may be watching all these inappropriate things, and now you're afraid that she may continue. Is that your fear?
Yes, yes. She may continue and she is asking lots of question about, because that's not her age that she can ask all those questions. And again, the second question for me, like, how can I maintain that friendship relationship with my kid? Because she is being honest with me that she told me that, Mama, I'm watching this and I'm so excited to for next series and next episode. So then after that, I uninstall her everything, putting security on the iPad and all and all. So and now I felt like in future, if she's encountered in something and she come to me and really she is going to be honest with me after that. So how can I maintain that friendship relationship with her?
So when you found out that she was looking at these things and she was so brave, she was so honest, she came to you, how did you react in those moments?
First, I was walking that day, the whole day. So I was like, okay, that's fine, that's fine. I literally didn't think too much. I was totally like a normal, even I'm not giving, give a chance to me to think something. But the next day when her questions makes me feel like, okay, I just tried to connect the dots when she told me the last night. And again in the morning, she asked some questions and I felt like, how could you know all those things? That's gone. Then in the night time I said like they are, I mean, whenever I'm just left the home, she's very excited to see the, because I'm not at home, right? And when I'm at home, I'm always giving them some tasks to do, so they could not see iPad and all. So after I'm moving home, they are so excited to watch the next episode. Then I realize it's really something going on that I have to watch properly. And then I uninstall everything, this security and all. And she came to me and asked me, Mama, who did all those? And then I realized, because she was so honest to me, and really that's my fear right now. Like, how can I maintain that friendship relationship with my kid? Because I know, I mean, being a mother, it's not, you could not do each and every moment that friendship relation, like a friend, we could not, because I know like that's not good for her. and how I'm allowing her to know that like that's not good for her in this age.
So when she told you, Mama, who did it, did you then explain to her why you did it?
No,
What did you say?
I feel like I did it and I didn't say anything about that because I don't know how to,
Okay, I understand. So the first thing is that good you didn't scream, good you didn't yell, good you didn't punish her. So you did a lot of things by not doing a lot of things, right? So you did a lot of good, excellent. Many other parents would have freaked out. That's it. I'm not. Da, da, da. I told you not to go on that. Violated my trust. Amazing. You didn't do anything. However, you also didn't do anything right? Like you didn't do anything good out of it. You just didn't do anything bad. So at least you did that. But what are some things you could have done instead? And this is where parents often get into a tough spot. Some parents just yell and react, and then the other parents just freeze and shut down. And you did what the second set of parents do. There's something in between, a little bit of your feminine energy, calm and nice, soft and gentle, but a little bit of masculine energy, which is teaching them something. So you can go back and put your children down and you can teach them, you know what? I also want you to watch those videos at a later age. It's a good video to watch when you're 16, when you're 17. Now you're 12. So if you and I can keep trusting each other, if you and I can keep being honest like you were, and I'm so proud of you that you were so honest, then after 13, after 14, after 15, boom, 16, you come back to me and you say, Mama, look, I've been so honest and I've listened. Can I now watch those videos? And guess what Mama's going to say? Yes, right? So why are we doing this? Is number one, we're going to praise the child for actually doing something very good, which was being honest. Number two, we're going to tell them there is an age that it is a good thing to watch at that age. And we're going to build it up. Do this at 12, do this at 13, and by 16, boom, you can have it. So that builds their trust that if they follow the way and if you follow the way, their goal, their desire can be met in the future. You're giving them something to work on rather than just controlling the situation and shutting down. So many parents fail to do this middle way, which is be understanding, but also teach a skill. Don't just, either overreact or underreact. There is a middle way where you can come back and talk to your child and build that connection, praise them for their honesty, but also teach a skill, right? We often forget that a lot of parenting is about skill building in a connected way. Our children genuinely don't know what they don't know. So your daughter, for example, doesn't know that it's inappropriate. It feels like fun. It looks entertaining. Why can't I watch it, mommy? She doesn't understand that certain things are for certain ages. So you have to teach her that. How is she going to know that? So the first thing we do is we say, I feel you. I understand you. I get you. Thank you so much for being honest. I also want to watch these kinds of things, but I know that sometimes they're not appropriate for me. And every brain at every age has different things that are good for that brain. And this is what's good for you at 12. This is what's good for you at 13. And this is what's good for you at 17. For example, if they come to you and say they want their own phone, right? I remember my daughter wanting a phone at the age of 9. I had to make her wait till 13 or 14. And I said to her, you can have it, but not at this age. And you teach them the skill of waiting, the skill of understanding that. Right now, your daughter has no skill. You just took it away. You did not teach her anything, right?
Yeah. And I felt like, I wanted to give her the right information. That's why I stopped myself. I feel like if I don't know how to give an answer of that, and I don't want to give something worse that I heard from my childhood, I don't want to pass on to her. So that's why I stopped myself and I said like, okay, I just asking those questions to myself, how can I make them understand? Because this is a very small, in this age, 7 years, yeah, but these kind of things are coming, definitely will come in the future.
Exactly.
I'm trying to, ask my friends and what girls are doing in this age and all, how could I get the answer and trying to face that kind of questions. But
Yes, very good. You're absolutely right. But there is no perfect answer. Parents often are looking for the perfect three-step solution. It's an attitude of connection, of building trust, of telling your children, hey, I know you want this. I want to give it to you. I will give it to you, but not at this age. So learning to talk with them. Listen, this is just not appropriate for your brain, but it's great for a 16-year-old brain. Should we make a chart and wait till we're 16 and you can just put 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and just help her to wait? In the moment, there's so many ways to treat the situation, but there's no one perfect way. Every age, every situation will require a different approach. And this is where parents often make mistakes. They think there's one way, one answer. No, it's an evolution. Parenting is a constant moment by moment evolution. So we have to wait for the moment to arise and then meet that moment when it arises.
Yes, yes, Shefali. I mean, now I'm feeling like, yeah, this is the answer I was looking for that time. I feel like, okay, but yeah, it makes me feel so light right now. So relaxed, like, okay, I will, let her know. Again, in the night time, I was just bringing that situation and trying to, because definitely her mind also, asking that same question to her, why your mama did all those things with you. And now I have a good answer to tell her, like, why I did that.
Excellent. Great job. You're on the right track. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you, Shefali. Really, I'm feeling so blessed to, talk with you and know more about the, conscious parenting. That's really not in my awareness, but after I saw your videos and, lots of your videos, short videos and live videos. And now, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Both these stories, we could observe how the mothers needed permission to trust themselves. Both mothers were on the right track, but we often enter self-doubt and we freeze. We don't know what to do. We either listen to other people's opinions or we just get stuck. And part of that is because we believe sometimes that there's only one way to handle our children. Parenting is a constant, evolving, moment by moment journey. There is no perfect parent. There's no perfect child. There's no perfect strategy. There's no perfect solution. We have to figure it out in the moment. But the only way to do it, really, is through attuning to who our child is here and now, trusting our inner knowing, being open to new ways like conscious parenting and learning conscious parenting. You know, when I began learning what I teach, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but when I began really applying the teachings of conscious parenting, it opened up such a vast way, a new way of not only interacting with my child, but interacting with every single human, including myself. This is why I offer courses. I have an institute. Take conscious parenting seriously, not only to transform your children, but ultimately to transform yourself. If you've enjoyed listening, join me for the next episode of Parenting and You with me, Dr. Shefali. Parenting and You with Dr. Shefali is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical, psychological, psychotherapeutic, coaching, healthcare, or other qualified professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment.